Were you part of the U.S. Mint's most successful sellout to date?
Give it to me like.
Folks, welcome to the Paulybuck YouTube channel. My name is Paul, and I sure am glad to have you with me on this one here today. Today, we're going to go to U.S. Mint website, and I'm going to talk about the 250th year anniversary privy marked American Silver Eagle proof coin coming from the U.S. Mint that sold out within 4 hours of its release on the 13th of June, Friday the 13th, mind you, of 2025. We're going to talk about that coin, and I want to hear some feedback from you guys, what you thought of the U.S. Mint's website that day with the waiting room. Did you get through and buy one? Do you not even care about these coins? And what is coming next that you should definitely pay attention to? I'm also going to take us over to eBay briefly towards the end of this video and show you some major pre-sale comps that these coins have brought. All right, guys, the U.S. Mint's webpage, which I'm really not a fan of their product schedule. It's something I'm still trying to get used to, but it is what it is. But the U.S. Mint's website is usmint.gov. Definitely not a sponsor of this channel, even though if they do watch, hey, shoot me an email once in a while. But what this is about is the latest and greatest sellout, sold out in 4 hours on the U.S. Mint website, and that is this coin I'm about to show you right now. The 250th anniversary United States Army American Eagle 1 ounce silver proof coin with the special privy mark. Very, very nicely done. $105 was the cost. Did you get yours on the day of release? Let's take a closer look at this privy mark. United States Army privy right here, just off the Y. Another look at it, and there's our security feature, the missing read. But what I want to do is come down and show you kind of a curveball. If I can get over to this side. Here we go. Kind of a curveball that the U.S. Mint threw at us. Well, we knew it was going to be a mintage of 100,000. We knew the product limit 100,000, but this was set at 3. And a couple days prior to the U.S. Mint releasing this coin for sale to the general public via the website, they dropped it to 1 per household, and they still sold out in 4 hours. Now, I can't tell you how many went to other dealers in these bulk buy packages, so on and so forth. They didn't sell 100,000 in 4 hours via the website. I can tell you that much. I believe a 10% total of the total mintage has to be held for the website. So there was at least that plus some, but that's the trickery they pulled on us. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, it's the 250-year anniversary of the American Army. It's the American Silver Eagle. It's a proof coin. It is the best of the best that the U.S. Mint can put out, supposedly supposed to be. So I'm hoping when we see these coins that they do come flawless from the U.S. Mint. Will that happen? It's tough to say. You should see we're going to see some of the pre-sale sold prices on eBay here shortly. But this was a major, very successful sellout for the U.S. Mint. I logged in to the waiting room it popped me into. It said 4 hours right off the bat. It honestly took maybe 20 minutes for me to get in, complete my order, and I was on my way. So I did get what I was going for. But why was I going for that? Not necessarily because I have family members in the Army, or if I'm myself in the Army, or anybody I know was in the Army. It was for the aftermarket sale of this coin. There's dealers offering $80 on top of your purchase price and paying your shipping just to go there and get a coin. Why was that happening? Because they dropped the product limit from 3 to 1. So it was making some of these dealers that were making promises out there to the world of flipping, selling proof 70 versions of this coin. Promises were made, and promises kind of need to be kept. So that just limited their supply by quite a bit. If they were banking on people like myself, maybe people like you, on selling their coin to them. Great thing. Great way to make a little bit of profit on a purchase from the U.S. Mint. Some people completely dislike it. I understand. I'm going to talk about a project that I'm working on at the end of this video as well that a lot of you could take advantage of it if you choose to do so. Completely free to you. We'll talk about it in here in a few minutes. But very, very well done sellout. Very smooth on my end. Yeah, there was a wait, but there was no crash. All right. What is going to be next that I personally am going to be looking at, and maybe yourselves should be looking at? Let's take a look at that product schedule one more time. No, it is not the Morgan and Peace silver dollars for me this time. Now, for you, don't forget that these things are coming out. July 10th is going to be the release for these. This is your uncirculated versions. Let's load some more. This is the problem I have with this website is always have to load this stuff. But it's going to be the July 24th release of the DC Comics U.S. Mint collaboration, starting with Superman. This is a 2.5 ounce silver medal. Let's click into it and see if we have any type of product. We have nothing. We still have absolutely nothing. We do have a little short video. That's a YouTube video from the U.S. Mint. We don't need to see that. Let's go back to the coin. Very well done, in my opinion, as far as these coins go and medals go. Let's go back. And remember, we're not just going to see a 2.5 ounce silver medal. We are also going to see a 1/2 ounce 24 karat gold proof coin, but then also a 1 ounce silver medal. We're still waiting to see mintages and product limits and all that great stuff, but this is definitely one on my list, especially this one that I will be looking to get for basically a flip purpose. That is going to be it. These are going to be very, very expensive for a 1/2 ounce gold coin. Dealers are going to be looking for them to send them in and be graded. Collectors are going to collect. That's always going to be a thing. And this is a major piece for someone's collection between DC Comics and the U.S. Mint. And one more while I have you here, actually two more. This is one I want to see, which I will do a video as soon as I get some more information on it, but is this 2025 1 ounce silver eagle laser beam privy mark. There's been a lot of speculation. It's done with a laser. Is it a laser beam? Look, I'm not going to give you speculation. I'm going to give you the facts once the U.S. Mint puts it on the website for you all to hear. This is probably one of the best coins the U.S. Mint has put out, in my opinion, in a very long time. And I will do a separate dedicated video on this particular piece being launched August 21st. It's going to be very, very limited. If I was to buy any one of these two for my own personal collection, it is going to be the high relief gold coin. The U.S. Mint has some major issues with their silver medals. That's why I don't think I'm even going to think about the Superman silver medals. Maybe start a collection for my kids or something. Maybe if I can get my hands on a couple 1 ounces for the DC Comics thing. But this coin, this gold coin, is a beautiful, beautiful piece coming from the U.S. Mint. That's as much as I want to say about it. For those of you who haven't seen it, you can clearly come to the U.S. Mint webpage and check this thing out for yourself. There are no pricing yet on this. $100, 1 ounce of 4/9 fine gold, ultra high relief. Well, high relief. I'm not going to call it ultra high relief. But this Screaming Eagle is what I'm calling it. This Screaming Eagle design is badass #1 in my book. All right, guys. So as I promised, here are some sold listings from eBay from this coin, June the 13th, Friday the 13th, 2025, released and bought. You were able to pre-buy this. I don't believe they're shipping until sometime in July, like July 28th or 29th, something like that. Maybe before if we're lucky. But they were $105 plus shipping. So call it $110, $229, $235, $230, $210, $188. Best offer accepted, $240, $209. These are just raw coins. Well, here's one, $300, new listing, pre-sale, $300 for the Proof Ultra Cameo 70. Best offer accepted. That is dirt cheap, if you ask me. $209, $234, $219. So right around there, anywhere from $200 to $225, $230. But what I want to do is come back up to the top and I want to put in PF70. PF70. PF70 and search that and see what kind of sold listings come up for PF70. And this is why. These are all pre-sold. This thing sold on June 12th, a day before the actual release. NGC PF70 Ultra Camo saluting sunset label, $419. Here's one. Advanced release, $1,075. 450, 400, 420, 400, 440. If you see what I'm saying here, these are a very, very special product, and many want to have it in their collection in a PF70. All right, folks, now you let me know what you did. Did you buy one? Did you buy any? Do you not care? Here's something I do want to share with you, and I'm going to leave all this information in the description below. My dealer's name is Andy, and we started what is a WhatsApp group. And within that group are both these sales from the U.S. Mint. We actually did start it with this release. There's a couple of you that joined. Thank you for that. I don't know if you got your coins or not. That's completely up to you. Andy sets a price. Whether or not you guys want to sell to him, you can. You don't have to, but it's good to be in there to at least see his price, especially if something doesn't attract you and he's looking to get his hands on some. You could potentially buy some and send them off to him. He's a dealer. He wants to have the stuff sent off and graded so that he can make a little bigger profit on top of his stuff. People do it all the time. You can see it right there on eBay. So that WhatsApp group is going to be in the description below. Do yourself a favor. Check it out if you want. It's free to join. You can join in. Just say hi when you get in there. And right now there is one group, and that is the 250-year Army Privy Marked group. The next group will either be Morgans and Peace dollars, or it's going to be Superman coins. It could be the high relief gold coin. Everything is going to have its own group. That's where we can chat about that specific thing. There's no spamming, no nothing. It's just strictly business inside that group. So if that's something you're thinking, if that's something you would be interested in, check out the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned to the Paulybuck YouTube channel where we talk about U.S. Mint products, upcoming, my thoughts. I do buy a lot of this stuff and I do show it off on here. And a lot of the stuff I get from the U.S. Mint is pretty trashy. And if you go back and watch some of those videos, you can see I still can't get over the oil stained on my Morgan silver dollar. Really pissed me off. So I'm hoping that these don't come with any marks on them and we can get a couple 70s out of what I've ordered. So do yourself a favor, subscribe down below, check out that video on your way out. And I will see you all on the next one. Thanks, everybody.